HopZine.com. Thanks for joining me for another video beer review. This time you're looking at a bottle of beer from the Thornbridge Brewery in Bakewell in Derbyshire, and it is the bottle of their whiskey barrel aged double Scotch ale at 8.5% ABV. As you can see on the label, it's Thornbridge Hall, so the original Thornbridge Brewery, the little brewery before they opened up the Riverside Brewery, which is the big production brewery. So this is a double Scotch ale, so an imperial Scotch ale, I guess you'd say, a stronger Scotch ale, which has been aged in, as it says, which I really appreciate that they've mentioned which barrel it's been aged in, because I don't know a hell of a lot about whiskey, and it's all about my personal education on these things as well. It's been aged in Auchentoshan whiskey barrels. So that's really interesting. So it's a new one on me. I don't know if it's a peaty or a smoky or whatever. Let's find out. Thornbridge have produced some fantastic beers as part of this range. Last one, what I really enjoyed was the Imperial Oatmeal Stout. That was a stunner. 8.5, not too massive. It's good level of things really. Brand new release of 2014. Beer in the glass, lovely radiant mahogany. The head on it, pale, so kind of like slightly darkish beige. Let's give it a swirl and a sniff. Not a hell of a lot going on there. It's wheaty, it's quite soapy. There's certainly a hint of kind of plums and yeah, kind of like manky old plums, and I mean that the best possible way. Sweet, sugary, all bran. If you got all bran with hot milk on it, or something like that, and a hint of brown sugar. It's quite a passive nose for a beer of this type. It's sweet, it's wort like. The thing that this really reminds me of, and I think it's quite a comprehensive understanding of that aroma, is whilst I was down at in London for the Murky Mile down in Bermondsey, we went to Brew by Numbers, and they had a little kind of like tier at the side of the thing where what you'd normally find like a bit of soup in or something. They had brewer's breakfast, which was essentially hot wort, so like lovely sweet wort, and they had a hint. They added a shot of Lafroig, so a really nice peaty whiskey. I'm not massively, as I said at the start of this, I don't know much about whiskey, but my friend Ryan, who was over from San Diego, was quite excited that he spied that bottle of Lafroig from at least like 10 paces, and we tried it, and it was lovely. It was really nice, and it smells like that. It's, as I said, it's this sweet, sugary, all brand thing, and then with a hint of peaty, kind of sweet whiskey. Smells good. Smells different. Doesn't smell massive. You kind of expected more, but let's dive in and see what it tastes like. That's the most important thing. Cheers. That's very nice. I'm lining up beers for the weekend. Just reach behind me, pick up a bottle of beer, which kind of gets me thinking about this beer. I don't know if this is probably going to be different, completely different stratospheres, but Hair of the Dog. It reminds me of beers that you get from Hair of the Dog. There's a lot of complexity. There's something kind of old worldly about it. There's a maturity. There's a softness. There's just a reassurance of something that is really nicely produced. As far as Scotch ale goes, I think they're really spot on. Maybe not full on Scotch ale, because I think Scotch ales nowadays is taking a bit of a edge towards something a bit bigger, a bit maltier, which in my book is really nice. This is edging towards like an 80 shilling or something like that. If that's, yeah, 80 shilling, I think that's the one. Big, malty beer with a slightly kind of metallic hop character. Probably coming from British hops. There's certainly a tang in there. I think it's a sweetness. I'm not getting a hell of a lot of whiskey, but I think it's just playing its part beautifully, as you'd hope with a brewery of this stature. Thornbridge have produced some fantastic barrel aged beers, really have. Some of the best beers that they produce. I mean, they do some crackers. Really, one of the best brewers in the country. There's a sweetness. There's a hint of marzipan. I'm left with a tang of British hops, which invokes flavours of, I'd say, red apple to a certain degree, and there's something a bit kind of like autumnal leaves about it. There's something a bit burnt. It's lovely. It's a lovely beer. It really is. It's good to try a beer like this because often I'll just end up drinking Imperial Stout or IPA or something like that. Styles that I'm used to, styles that I'm very comfortable with, styles that I can pluck these tasting notes out of the air. It's nice to be confronted by something that isn't within your kind of like everyday drinking habit, I guess. It's lovely, it's sweet, it's sugary, but without going too far. It's beautifully balanced. And I guess that's the point I'm trying to make. This is a beautifully balanced beer. It's not uber complex, it's got a nice amount of complexity, and what is there is really nicely done. It's Ovaltine, it's sweet, but it's not too sweet. It's tangy, but not too tangy. It's very British. It's a lovely beer. I'm glad I bought it. It's a lovely one to end the night on. So that's a bottle of Thornbridge Brewery, and in particular Thornbridge Hall, the original little brewery near the Stately Home in Bakewell, Derbyshire. And it's a bottle of their whisky barrel aged double Scotch ale, 8.5% ABV, aged in Auchentoshan whisky barrels. I'd be interested to see what Auchentoshan tastes like. I'm a complete novice when it comes to whisky. I'm willing to learn. I don't care for this. I'm not a massive fan of the flavour, but I'm willing to learn because I love these beers. I love these beers that have got a little bit of that in there. I'm all about kind of learning. I'm all about. I think people should understand what they're doing before they kind of like spout some silly opinion like you see in some views. Been had a couple of drinks already tonight. Not gonna deny that anyway. But it's all about appreciation of fantastic beer, and this is another winner from Thornbridge Brewery in Bakewell. Stunning beer, another winner. I've had a couple of duff ones, I'm not going to lie to you, recently, but this is a stunner. This, Otto, there's been some lovely beers turning out of that brewery recently. This is another one. Add it to the list, search it out. I'm Rob from HopZine.com. See you next time. Cheers.